What is going on, everybody? Welcome. It is most certainly mod day. Today we are going to be throwing on the taller windscreen. We're going to be throwing on the Rizoma Leggera blinkers, as well as the Rizoma Stealth Black Mirrors. So let's jump right into it. It's going to be pretty quick. It's pretty simple. There's a couple pieces that you want to make sure you have when you're doing this. Obviously you need the mirrors, but specifically for the Leggera mirrors, which hopefully this isn't too crazy, you're gonna need the mounting brackets. These are already open because I did this job earlier and had to get an extra piece that I didn't know that I needed. You obviously need 2 of the Rizoma Leggera blinkers, and then you also need to make sure you get the wiring harness, part number EE078H. Probably can't see that there, but you need all of those for these blinkers. The first thing we're gonna do is disassemble this whole thing here. Then we're gonna rock and roll with getting all of that on. So let's jump right into it. The very first thing you're gonna need is your T25 Torx screwdriver, and we're gonna just pop these out here. This will be pretty fast. You just want to make sure on the 2 bottom ones that you keep that little plastic washer. So, all right, now before we pull this off, we just need to make sure we pop these in here. There's a little, you probably can't see it very well. That just needs to be pushed in, and that will allow us to release this whole windscreen. All right, those kind of stayed in here. We're gonna plop those out. Plop these out. We're gonna hold on to all of this. All right, up next, we just gotta get this piece off. Now, what's in here, we just pull from the top here and just kind of press in, and the 2 latches will come off on the inside. You can see these 2 parts here slide into these rubber, like these rubber holes, and that's how that locks in. So, pretty simple, just kind of push together, pull up, and it pops off. And then when you put it back, it's the reverse. Now we're going to unscrew these after unplugging these, and we'll have the mirrors off. All right, and to get these off, it's much easier if you use a screwdriver just to pry this piece up here. And then that should slide right up. And then this should slide right up. And there you go. Now we're ready to remove these. To remove your mirrors, you're gonna need a 10mm wrench. You need to make sure the steering is turned away from or towards the mirror that you're unscrewing, because then you'll have actual clearance. So let's turn around here and get this unscrewed. This is the best way to show you guys visibility, so I'm going to be doing this upside down for me. All right, now that we've gotten this unscrewed, it should slide right out like this. Now we just gotta do the same to this side, and then we're ready to start reassembling everything. All right, so now that everything is off of the bike, what we're going to do is assemble the lights, make sure they work, and then we'll prepare to get these to go on under the new mirrors. So this, if you don't know, is the mount, and I've got to remember which side this goes to. Basically, these mount right under here, and they line up right with that first hole. So this hole here basically lines up here on this side, just underneath, and that's what holds the light in. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, so this is the left side points down, or both sides point down, basically the way they're set up. So we're gonna wire it up, make sure they work, flip the bike on, make sure the lights work, and then get everything kind of all programmed in. Basically, step number 1 is to get the mirrors installed with the brackets ready, and then we can test out the lights. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna make sure that we have our rubber spacer in here, and we're gonna plop this right on top of the bike, like so. And that just goes right on top. Then we're going to take this piece here. This is going to slide right under. Basically, it slides right onto there. Then we take our bolts. Those screw right in. And we'll get one for both sides. Screw that right in as well. And then we'll tighten those down here in a moment. All right, so now we've got the mirrors on. We are ready to start assembling the lights, see if they work, and then we're gonna actually hook them all in, integrate them into the system, put on the new windscreen, and we're ready to go. All right, I wanted to come over here briefly to the table. Let me open this up and show you guys what is in here. We have the light with just a regular cable, unattached to any harness. And then we have a washer with a nut. This is going to go on top of that, right where the bolt screws in. So you're gonna see this is gonna be mounted onto the mount, and then these are gonna go screwed on, and then this goes on top of everything. Inside we have a resistor, actually 2 resistors. I don't know why they send us 2, even though only I guess 1 light. They might be different types of resistance, but these we won't be using. You use them on specific bikes. So they have the whole manual inside, which will show you which bikes uses which schemes and all of that. So we're not going to use that. But what we did have to get specifically is this wiring harness, which is EE078H. This is what we need to mount it to the BMW. So we're going to slice into this. Hopefully not cut any cables. And this is what's going to allow us to mount the lights to the S1000. So what I'm going to do is connect this now. It is pretty straightforward. We're going red to red, black to black, and then we're going to plug it all in, make sure that it works. All right, so now that is all wired up. I'm gonna get the other light, we're gonna wire that, and then we're gonna make sure that they work. Right, so all I'm doing to make sure these work is I'm going to plug them in. You just gotta make sure to line up the little dot here with the little dot there. We'll slide it in here to the best of our ability. Flick this on here really quick. Doesn't look like we have any weird signs. Boom, so we've got, that would be left turn signal, right turn signal, and blinkers. Awesome. Sweet, so they work. Now we're gonna get to work on wiring them into the system. Update, something I just realized, to get this to wire properly, we're going to have to feed the wire through our nut. So we're going to have to unplug this again, wire it through, because that's how this attaches to, I don't know if you can see, but that's how it attaches to this bracket down here. All right, so now that we've gotten this all wired on to the light, we're gonna reconnect our connectors here. All right, for this portion, hopefully you guys can see, basically I'm going to thread this into here. We're gonna wiggle it through this tight space. It should just seat. Then we just have to make sure that we get, well, our bolt just got stuck. No worries, we're gonna make sure that's facing the right direction. And now we're in business. We'll start screwing this on just by hand here. It actually probably doesn't need to be super tight. Let me make sure the rubber is seated. And now we've got our first head, or first blinker mounted right there. So now we're just gonna wire this up, thread it through, and do the opposite side, and then we just put the windscreen on and we're good to go. All right, everybody, I've come up against something. I am not an electrician, so if anybody has any better ideas than this, let me know. I got it wired up on this side, the first side that I did, and when I turn the steering it hits. So I did something different on this side where I'm pulling the wire straight back behind the screen and then tucking it into here, and it will just go in this way. I'm 99% sure I'm just doing something incredibly wrong, like maybe I should tuck it all the way in there. I don't know. There are no other tutorial videos on this. So if anybody has any better ideas, it's not that hard to undo it and fix. I'm just gonna do it this way now just for the sake of the video, but let me know if you have any better ideas in the comments. That would be super helpful. So thank you so much. I'm going to attach this again here, and that just goes right in. Make sure it's lined up. Plops right in there, boom. So you can still kind of see the wiring here, but it's not a super big deal. Next thing is just attaching the screen back, and then we're done. Right, and for the screen, so it's pretty straightforward. You take those little grommets that you had that little gold piece in, and those slide in like so, right on top. And this one will slide in like so, right on top. And then the other two just go in the holes as well, so I gotta go get those. All right, and there we have it. We have everything installed. This is not a great view, so I'm gonna go out and get some actual photos and show you what it has done to the profile, as well as the taller windscreen. One other thing I wanted to mention that is actually bumming me out a little bit, I gotta figure out how to deal with this, is my 360 camera. It mounts so well to these fat mirrors. It is not wide enough to mount on the Rizoma mirror, so I gotta figure out a new place to mount this or something. Maybe I can mount it on this portion, I don't know. We'll see.
All right, so if you thought I was gonna do an install video without doing a test fit video or a tryout video, you were wrong. So this is most certainly the first time I've ever ridden with the Rizoma mirrors on. Let me take a quick spin. Let's see how they do. So basically, yeah, welcome to my very first ride with the Rizoma Stealth Black Mirrors. I'm weighing these against a few things. So the three criteria, I think it's three, I just pulled that number out of my head, for liking these is visibility, vibration, and I'm gonna say the word function. That's gonna sound redundant, but you'll understand in a minute why it is not redundant. So first let's talk about looks. Well, so there's four. We'll say looks is one of them. I definitely feel like I need to head check more, just as a random observation. So, looks wise, I don't mind them. I think they look pretty good. I'm having a good time looking in the right. The left side is working very well. The right I haven't calibrated right. So, visibility. There's definitely less visibility. I definitely feel like I see less of the world in these tiny little mirrors. If I lift my arm kind of like this, I can see pretty good behind me. If I lift this arm, I can see pretty good behind me. So you can get around, but you definitely have to work for it. Oh, that looks nice. You definitely have to work for it. So yeah, definitely way less visibility. Not necessarily a deal breaker. Like, I see pretty good road behind me here. This one is bothering me. I don't know why the right side is not working as well as I'd hope it would be. Let me pop this in cruise so we can mess with it here. Cruise control is a genius thing. Alright, so I think that might be pretty good. don't know what it is. My left is legendarily perfect right now. The right is still a little bit off. Alright. I feel better with that. Now, obviously, looks-wise, wow. It looks very, very clean. It's very flat. It doesn't change the, like, craziness, aggressiveness of the bike up front at all, which is nice. There's someone behind me. Alright, so the visibility I'm slowly getting used to. Vibration. Dude, they still vibrate just as bad as the first, the OEM mirrors. And the OEM mirrors vibrate a ton, like, not like a ton, but like on my CBR 600, the mirrors vibrated when you weren't accelerating, but as soon as you started accelerating and getting those RPMs up, you were crystal clear. So maybe that's just a S1000RR thing that I'm coming to grips with. So that's not so bad. So visibility, it's usable. It's definitely not as great as the nice big mirrors up here. Now, vibration, same as before. So we're nil on that battle. And then the last one was functionality. They don't work for what I want them to work for, which is I loved mounting my 360 camera on my big mirrors right here like this. It was great. I can't do that with these. So that means I either have to find another spot for them, which ends up probably being like the windscreen, which I don't like. That might actually be a deal breaker. I might return those because of this. And we'll just funnel all of that funds into like a tail tidy, which I was planning to do last because I want the bike for me. And I see the front most often, which is why I started with the front. That might be a deal breaker. The other thing is the other mirrors kind of left a little bit of an outline from their mounting position because it's a little bit wider footprint than the Rizoma Stealth as far as mounting goes, and you can kind of still see it no matter how much I clean it. So I don't know, man. These might not make the cut.